All right. Now for the ladies, it's a little bit late here, Sunday night. That should explain the intro. We're talking about the Detroit Lions tonight because training camp's currently going on. It's Sunday. It's late Sunday, July 28th. And I know the Detroit Lions are destined for greatness, folks. Whether it's this year, whether it's next year, it doesn't matter. Take it from a Green Bay freaking Packers fan, folks. You guys are just fine. All right, you guys are just fine. And I want to talk about a couple of players. Specifically, we'll name it right here. Marcus Davenport, Jameson Williams, Jack Campbell. There are a bunch of under-the-radar players on the Detroit Lions roster that I cannot wait to see play this upcoming season. And I do think a lot of these three players, even if just one of them breaks out in Jack Campbell, Marcus Davenport, or Jameson Williams, the Detroit Lions are going to be sitting pretty freaking pretty. So before we get into tonight's video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. We post a ton of Lions videos every single week. We've been doing that for a couple of years now. Shout out to all our OGs. Welcome if you are a new fan. If we could try and get this video to 250 likes, that would mean, seriously, the world to me. Like, I know I say that in every video, but if you guys hit the like button, it actually means the freaking world to me. Thank you guys so much. I was reading an article from Morgan Cannon, and I saw this excerpt from defensive end Marcus Davenport. He's eager to make his mark, all right? He said this quote, "I really have no patience," Davenport said of his yearning for football to be back. "Sometimes I think that's my downfall, but it also drives me. I'm really lucky there are people here who I can trust to help manage me and keep me cool." Marcus Davenport's extremely interesting to me because last season with Minnesota, he only played 4 games, 3 total starts. He had 4 quarterback hits, and he actually had 2 sacks in 3 started games. But if we go back 2 years ago, it was a poor season for the Saints. So, like, the big thing with Marcus Davenport is health. And the reason this is so important is because we're just kind of waiting for a defensive edge rusher opposite of Aiden Hutchinson to just fully step up. You know, last year at the trade deadline, we were talking about Chase Young, we were talking about Brian Burns, we were talking about Montez Sweat, and Detroit stood pat. They actually picked up DPJ, which we'll talk about in just a second here, but they didn't make a move for another edge rusher. And then the draft comes, and, you know, obviously they had other priorities, and nothing happened. So in free agency, they signed Marcus Davenport. And I just want to say really quickly, if anyone wants to comment anything about James Houston, we talked about him 2 days ago. James Houston's so intriguing to me because the dude had like 7 or 8 freaking sacks in 8 or 9 football games in his rookie season 2 years ago. But then last year he played pretty much a game and a half. But if there was an edge rusher who could give me 5 to 10 sacks opposite of future soon-to-be superstar Aiden Hutchinson, I'd feel really freaking good. Now, Marcus Davenport 2 years ago actually played in 15 football games. The issue is he was freaking dog water. He had 29 total tackles. He had 8 quarterback hits. And in 15 games played, he only had a half sack. But then if we go back to 2021, which was 3 seasons ago, he only started in 9 football games. And guess what? He had 9 total sacks and 16 quarterback hits. It was one of his best seasons in the NFL. And if there's a team who I think could resurge his career, it's going to be the Detroit freaking Lions. Now, moving forward, after Marcus Davenport, one huge name that we've heard in training camp, OTAs, rookie minicamp, all of last season, his name's Jameson Williams. Dan Campbell said this today. Look, he's more mature. And look, he banked some good reps last year. So Campbell said Williams reported to the team this spring more refreshed, more focused, which has set up a really nice training camp, including some highlight plays. If you go back a couple of days ago, the Detroit Lions day 1 of training camp, Jameson Williams was a huge freaking name to keep an eye on, not only because of his touchdowns, but also because of his puking. But Dan Campbell continued to say, and he's just continued that now, he's a more mature guy. He's bought in and he's putting in the work. Because of that, he just continued to get better and better. So I wanted to take a look back to Jameson Williams' final year of college football, his one and only year at the University of Alabama, where he had, keep an eye on this stat, 79 catches, all right? Nothing crazy, obviously very good, but nothing too crazy. Once again, though, 79 catches in college football, that's pretty freaking crazy. He had 1,572 receiving yards, including 15 touchdowns. So if you break the math down, Jameson Williams, in his final and only season at the University of Alabama, he started his first 2 career years of college football at the University of Ohio State, or actually that's flipped, Ohio State University, as they say, back in 2008 in the camp. The Ohio State University. But he finished his career at Alabama, played 1 season, 79 catches, about 1,600 yards. Folks, Jameson Williams averaged 20 yards per catch. 20, yep, you heard that correct. You actually did hear that correctly. 20 yards per reception was Jameson Williams' final year of college stats. And if we go back, that was only in 2021. So whether it's suspensions, whether it's injuries, Jameson Williams has been held back in this upcoming season due to the unre-signing of Josh Reynolds, no pickup for a solidified wide receiver number 2. It's safe to say Jameson Williams will be wide receiver number 2. And then finally, I saw this article over on Detroit on Lions. This was from Jeremy Reisman. Jock. Was a Houston Rockets video. Probably 4 people watching this video will understand that reference. Jack Campbell sets the bar very high. He has the Detroit Lions as a top 10 defense. We keep saying this whenever we cover the Detroit Lions. Folks, on paper, here's your starting defense, all right? Marcus Davenport, DJ Reader, Lee McNeil, Aiden Hutchinson, Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Carlton Davis, Melifanu, Kirby Joseph, Terrion Arnold, Brian Branch. It's young. It's a little bit older. They're getting a little bit older. And by a little bit older, I mean they're a little bit more refined. Jack Campbell's a really interesting player because he got off to an interesting start in the NFL where he's making a couple of moves. This was a big-time draft pick 1 year ago. He played in all 17 games. He only started in 12. He had 2 total sacks. He had a pass deflection. This really blew my mind, folks. I make Detroit Lions videos every other day, just about, or every other day. This stat blew my mind. Jack Campbell last season had 95 total tackles. 52 of those were solo. 3 quarterback hits, 5 tackles for loss. Jack Campbell breakout season is on the way here. I feel so confident with wide receiver 2 in Jameson Williams. I feel so confident with this defense. As long as the Detroit Lions stay healthy, I just don't really know why they won't dominate the National Football League this upcoming season. Once again, I'm a freaking Packers fan. Not trying to rub it in here. But that's it for today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. Let me know which defensive player are you most excited about for this upcoming season. Peace.